brothers, welcome sisters, welcome to our program On Target. And as usual, as soon as we start this program, you can pick up your telephone and give us a call. We never have a subject matter. We speak about anything. Politics, religion, socioeconomic issues, issues trending, hot issues. But most important, you can introduce your own subject matter anytime. And we will stop what we're doing and we'll take on yours. Because we believe this discussion is an opportunity to give people a chance. And we basically want to provoke discussion. We operate on the principles that Grenada have too much contentious issues. And we believe we must develop a culture of sitting down and dialoguing among ourselves. Start in the home, speak to your children, husband and wife, spouses. I know it's difficult, it's hard. Sometimes one behaving like a big Doberman. They don't want to listen. But you would find that the principle of negotiating, of mediating, of respecting each other's views, of recognizing that even the dull and the ignorant, they too have the story. So our program is really based on this principle. And we always speak up for individuals who may be challenged, people who are not necessarily represented by powerful trade unions. We would gradually gravitate to the issues and speak to it. The number to call is 442-0175. You call, you punch. We like the political issues. Politics is, we have two main political parties in Grenada, and politics is always hot. We don't back down from expressing our views and opinions. Opinions are not necessarily facts. They are opinions. And people are prejudiced. I am prejudiced. So when I express my opinion, it's based upon the information I have at the time. But if I get new information, I change in my opinion. Opinions are not cast in stone. So you can give us a call. I said before and on many occasions, one of the things that brought me to go on radio and do call on radio programs and end up doing the talk show program is the fact that I've been disturbed, strongly disturbed by the productivity level in school. Based upon my research, and I'm not a scientist, so I don't have the necessary acumen to do research that institutions would not dismiss. But I do research for my own conviction. So I have the courage of my conviction when I speak. I realize that 50% of the children that exit school were not meeting the basic requirements. So for many years, I continue to hold discussion and do research with the stakeholders. But sometimes you meet a brick wall. If 70% of the children that exit school can't meet the basic requirement, this is cause for alarm. People need to be concerned. We need to address that. In yesteryear, we had excuses. I didn't get lunch to go to school this morning, breakfast. I don't have clothes. My clothes wet. We have current. We had to walk. All sorts of excuses in yesteryear. During that time, there was more parents that was hungry for education. And mothers in particular used to have a strap or a whip beating children to go to school. Yes, caller, welcome.
Good afternoon, Mr. Pierre, and good afternoon to the listeners of RealFM.
Yes.
How you do?
Great, man.
Yeah. I like how you introduce your program this afternoon and use a man, a real champion in all aspects of come off on sundries. Right? With that said, let me bring my point. You advocating for everybody to get themselves educated and have a good background so they can thrive in the natural world. Now, here we have a situation in Grenada right now where we have a newly appointed labor commissioner and a newly appointed decommissioned labor commissioner with, according to you, a briefcase of certificates, right? And she apparently been sacked based on her inability to gel or fit in for the workers. This young lady would have gone through all the prerequisites, educational wise, and I guess if she had do vocational, maybe lacking there. So having education also is good, but having education also can be a curse according to this government, because what I'm seeing happening, there's no reason for this lady to be fired or sacked based on the utterances and the reason given by the now labor commissioner, not the commissioner, but the labor minister, AG, and all these things. I mean, I'm baffled at the explanation given why this lady was sacked, and I'm asking the question: how is it that one person is holding the Attorney General post portfolio, the Labor Commissioner portfolio, and Minister of Legal Affairs portfolio? One person. So you're advising yourself to give yourself advice, to give yourself advice? How does that make sense in our epoch in Grenada right now, in 2023? How does that make sense? And how reasonable thinking Grenadians, especially NEC supporters, find this normal? I want somebody to explain to me if they're not seeing something wrong with that position held by that particular individual. And I want to answer, because if this is how we're going forward in Grenada, by giving people positions.
Color, don't go.
Yeah.
Stay in here.
Let me hear.
If you take 9 political virgins and you bring them in Tiger Bay, they're going to get ravished. They're going to give it away cheap because they lack any sense of experience. This government coming to power, and they have done dumb things after dumb things. The excuse that is being given about she don't gel with workers is a dumb excuse. It have to that this individual must get mad. Maybe she get incapacitated, or she cause ruckus in the Ministry of Labor for them to fire instantaneously. Or maybe the Minister of Labor is more dumb than we think. That is the honest way to put it.
But I would put it that way to the Honorable Minister. But Mr. Pierre,
I don't know how to put it. It's either the individual got incapacitated, she had a mental breakdown, or the minister is extremely dumb.
Well, this is what I'm coming to, right? So apparently, the Labor Commissioner was hired on a 2-year contract. The key word here, contract. There are workers that were hired under the previous administration on contract, right? And there's a thing called permanent contract, temporary contract. There are contracts that you sign year after year as you go by, because you cannot be absorbed into the system as may see fit because of constraints monetary-wise, right? The NDC, upon taking office, decided to fire or terminate all these contracts. So I am asking the former Labor Commissioner, who was on contract, given 1 month pay for the 2 years, apparently from what the minister said in the utterances in the press conference, come forward and give your side of the story. And why is he doing that? Champion all the other contract workers that the NDC administration sent home when PM Deacon Mitchell say this contract hiring is what? Nepotism, and it's illegal, and it can be fixed by the stroke of a pen. So Deacon Mitchell and Claudia Joseph, fix it by the stroke of a pen. And don't come and tell me, give you all more than a year or 5 years.
Deacon Mitchell is a fake. They cannot fix it. The statement that was made was practically insulting. It cannot happen. When he said he going to put everybody under contract, he knows he was distorting the truth. And this is one of the challenges that we have. When we have educated men, a lawyer, and one of the lawyer's strong point is words. We don't know the terms of the labor, the individual in labor. We don't know the terms of a contract. So we have to be careful because we don't know the terms of a contract. We don't know if she got due process. The Public Service Commission don't normally operate on that manner. Unless somebody take a gun or a cutlass and go in the ministry and decide to devour some people. That's why I said maybe she had a mental breakdown or she was incapacitated or she caused ruckus. Otherwise, the ministry of, you will warn the person. You will call them and say, well, this is your weak points, whatever. But it seems that they break away from all that. But remember the previous labor commissioner, Cyrus Griffith, I think. He was fired immediately too. So it appears that this government or the Minister of Labor, maybe she is not too well in the head.
Okay, well,
so
anyway,
we have to let time.
Time will tell according to Jimmy Cliff. Let us see. Good afternoon.
It's unfortunate that these things happen, but the Public Service Commission don't operate like that normally, under normal circumstances. Unless you have a worker that break loose. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, Mr. Pierre, good afternoon again.
Welcome, my brother. Good to hear
you. That subject matter that your friend just dealt with, I've been doing that a whole lot for the long time. Ever since the lady was appointed as Attorney General, which is the biggest mistake the government, one of the biggest mistakes they make very early.
I know you was pointing out that very, very early. Yeah.
Very early. One of the issues relative to that lady, well, like I pointed out on another program, she has a nice lawsuit to come with, or the opportunity for a nice lawsuit. So that will put an offense on us most likely again, although she's justified to do it. Now, you started talking about the issue of
productivity.
You have an excuse at one time to go to school. Well, this kind of excuse do actually suffice much nowadays. Even the fact that people just don't have money, that becomes a problem. So here, what happened this morning, a guy called on another program. Well, you could say Shaggy. So, because I'm talking about Shaggy. Call on Shaggy program. And the guy was so distraught. He said for 2 weeks now, he has about 4 children, Yeah, for 2 weeks now, he couldn't send none of his child to school because he's so broke. He can't even pay attention, as one might say. Much more to pay bosses and so on. The guy said he applied for that CES loan or seed loan or CES loan. That $2,000 or so. Yeah, that he applied for that. He was one of the first person who applied for that. To the extent that when he went to the office, he couldn't even get the form. There was no form there because they just started. And they had to go and print form to supply him so that he could fill it in. One of the early person. And at the same time, his business went down because of the COVID as well. That's the basis on which you had to go for that loan. And up to today, his business is flopped and they never respond to him. So right now he cannot send any of his children to school for the past 2 weeks. They are home. So not just you don't have food and this kind of thing nowadays. And sometimes you send your children outside the village. And even if you send your children in the village and you don't have money to pay bus, I'm sorry, for the food in the school. Because somebody told me just recently, about a few days ago, that food in school costs about $7 nowadays. And I find that sound funny. A sandwich is $1.50 or something like that.
I don't know what the cost is. Normally, the government used to subsidize the food in the school.
Used to, yes.
So children who cannot drink.
So that's part of the problem.
I have an attitude to send some parents in jail who don't want to send their children to school. Because most of the schools are within walking distance. I used to walk about 3 miles to go to school. So if you don't have money, make the children walk. Yeah, I don't accept this advice when people say they couldn't send the children to school. Let the children walk to school. They are, although the road's so busy with vehicles now, I don't even like to walk on the road. But education is too important for us to make excuses.
Mr. Pierre. Mr.
Yeah,
Pierre,
go ahead.
I see children drop from bus in the bus terminus and take another bus to go up to convent.
That's why they teen. That is why they get in teens. That is why they get in teens.
I'm talking about the one in Tongue. The one in Tongue.
Yeah.
Not Grenville. Grenville is a little farther.
That's why they get in teens. So.
That's the kind of thing we have nowadays. So technically, you can't blame the parents sometimes, because they train the children so bad, or the children are so spoiled. That talking about walking to go to school, what kind of thing you tell me, the daddy? What kind of thing you tell me? The children taking bus from the terminus to the convent up the hill. You tell me to walk. So they will laugh at you.
Yes, God.
But, the Prime Minister was supposed to have a
press
conference yesterday.
Postpone it.
I spoke about it yesterday morning. And evening time, I spoke to a friend who usually deal with, follow what's going on, especially the behavior of the Prime Minister and this new government. And he might even be a supporter. I don't know. We move very well. I'll talk to him about who he votes for and whatever. But do you know that it was because of his query that the Prime Minister cut off the press conference?
Because of
I don't know what happened. His query, because the Prime Minister was calling the press to Mount Weldale. Now, the thing about his argument is that the Parliament does not belong to the government. The Parliament belongs to the Queen. And the Governor General is responsible for that. So if the Prime Minister, for example, wants to have a press conference, the best place for him is out of that area.
Is his office?
His office is in Botanic Garden. Or you could maybe come in the market. If you get what I'm saying. But not in that Parliament. The Parliament belongs to the Queen. The Governor General controls that as the representative. So that argument hit the Prime Minister, and he called up the press conference.
Well,
again, that's my kind of people.
One have to forgive them because they don't have no history or involvement in politics, and we have them driving the bus. So you expect them to go slow and stop regular on the road.
But you see, there's something about him. He misperceptualized a whole other thing about what the Constitution is about. I remember very early, remember that man ruled Grenada as a dictator like Stalin did. One man in the office, one man in the for about a month before he trained the other ministers. During that said that there should be no two executives in this country. But here contradiction. During that same time, he said that talking about changing the constitution now makes no sense. As far as he's concerned, and I'm quoting his word, no sense. Changing the constitution or going to constitutional reform right now. But if you're talking about there should be only one executive at least, or maybe even 4 or 5, for that to happen, you have to have a change of the constitution. But as far as I understand, he was trying to say he should be the one that is constituted with the executive power, not he and along with the Governor General. So if you have to change that, you're bound to have constitutional change. But here he was saying it so early. What are you going to do to get either one executive or maybe 4 or 5 if you need to have to? You have to change the constitution. And he being the one that is. So that same person described the man as a narcissistic type of person. I never actually describe him like that. I most go on the side of his scampishness. I like that word. Scampishness, because he's very subtle, he's very deceitful. Frankly speaking, he's a scampy, deceitful kind of person. You listen to him, and he has a subtle way of putting words that if you don't know how to listen, which too much people don't in this world, he gets away. The same thing them religious people do too. Yeah. And that's a serious problem in this world.
Yeah.
So, I'm listening. Take care.
Yes, Colin. Thank you very much. Yes, you open to calls, and your number to call is 4420175, and you can call or you write your posts, and I still read your posts. Yes, some Mary say a blackboard told me that she did not apply for the job. She was called to the job because she campaigned for Howie name in St. Andrews. But I don't know much about that. I don't know if she applied or not. I have not to really speak on the issue or terms of contract is a question of whether due process was involved, but something took place that the minister is not telling us. Because I don't think something have to be in the matter beside the person. We have a caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
I call back again
yes, my brother. Go ahead.
What that person just did. Talk about the Monday morning after the lady was fired, because it Thursday evening the Attorney General came and say what happened. The Monday morning, Ms. Daisy, who is the spokesperson for the Public Service Workers Union, which means that she represents
public relation officer
too.
Yeah.
She said on the radio program in an interview with the host that the lady did not apply for that work. She was handpicked.
Okay.
So what that lady said, that a board said, if it's Miss Daisy she get it from,
he's a good board. He's a good board. Yeah.
And that's a good board.
All right.
So she's the spokesperson for that lady as a representative of the union.
Okay.
And she said plain and loud, because she couldn't understand the explanation that the Attorney General and the Legal Affairs Minister gave, or the Labour Minister, sorry, I should say more than anything else. As Labour Minister, she spoke. Ms. Daisy couldn't understand what she was trying to say. Because as far as Ms. Daisy concerned, what he said he meant nothing. So he didn't explain a bit of what should have been said. And she was, I mean, it's a nice way of saying that Claret was lying. But, she didn't say she lied.
Okay, but that is important that she did not say she lied. Yes, caller, thank you very much. Yes, and the number to call is 4420175, and you can always pick up the telephone and punch. What you have to say is much more important than what I have to say. I only like to babble and provoke discussion. But 70% of the children exiting school in Grenada is unacceptable. I have been not distracted, but the government has been making so much of blunders over this past couple months that almost every day you get stuck with something unorthodox that the government did that is not in the interest of the people. So we had very little time to concentrate on education. And I am not convinced that the new Minister of Education would help the situation. I am not convinced. And more, I take a peep into his history if he could change anything. In fact, he might more be an obstruction to productivity. When I inquire into his past activities, he more is an obstruction to productivity. All of us in Grenada have to be concerned. Now, the job market in the world today is very competitive. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah.
Go right ahead.
How you doing, man?
Great, man.
Mr. Pierre, 70% of the children exiting school cannot meet the necessary requirement. Is that?
Yes, 70% can meet the basic requirement.
What I'm saying is that is not the fault of any particular government,
No, I think it's the fault of all of us.
Well,
I'm not blaming any particular government. I'm blaming everybody.
Exactly.
All of us.
Right. So the thing about it, all of us have to take the responsibility.
Yeah, but we're not taking any responsibility. That's why I'm speaking about it.
Okay. So tell me something then. How you as a radio personality I mean, how do you advise, or how do you I mean, what do you think we should really tackle that then?
The first thing is for people to be convinced that that is happening. A lot of people don't realize that is happening. So one of my intention is to provoke the discussion for people to start to consider whether that is true or not. If it is 69.5%, I'll apologize. for making such an outrageous statement. But based upon my information, it is 70%. And then we must look at all the stakeholders involved. One of them is the government of Grenada. And education is manned by the chief education officer. He's more powerful in education than the permanent secretary.
Okay, so we need all and sundry on board.
All stakeholders. But all stakeholders doesn't believe they have a responsibility.
Because all of us is affected by that, whether directly or indirectly.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So what I'm saying is we cannot blame any.
We're not blaming people.
Administration. All of us, the past, the past, the present, all of us is things. So let's come on board, in a general way, because all of us is affected by that, whether directly or indirectly, right? So, because listen, you there?
Yeah, I listen to you. Yeah,
right. Look at this thing. Right. I don't want to be too long. Look at this thing that was held in the Trade Center, concerning the referendum, right? What I'm saying, if the authorities of the day, Mr. Pierre, really interested in educating the people, really interested in informing and educating people in history, this thing not supposed to be held in, only the Trade Center alone. I think what concerning the laws and concerning the Constitution. This thing is supposed to be held in every community.
When that took place, Scholar?
Sometime last year, man. Only last year.
You're talking about the referendum?
Yes.
The referendum, okay.
But no, I'm talking about where the different
Okay. I just wanted, you go ahead. Yeah.
Huh?
Okay.
Right. They came together and they were discussing the Constitution, right? In the Trade Center in Grand Anse there, right? And the people was invited in, right? But what I'm saying is, it's not a bad idea, but this thing's supposed to be in every village or in every community, right? So then you reach all the people, but then this thing is just being held there and it's not finished, right? This thing's supposed to be held in every. We have six thing in Grenada.
Carrico and Pittima think it should be held already.
Parish, yes, exactly. This thing supposed to be held in every parish.
Okay, Colin.
Right? Yeah. In every parish. This thing not supposed to be held only in St. George's alone. No. Because this thing belongs to the people, right? So I don't think. Yes, but it's supposed to be. Yes, it's a good effort, but this thing's supposed to be extended, right, into every parish. So you give because it's not. And at the time it was I think somewhere I think was from 7 in the evening. How much people that will will be able to really attend the thing. So the thing about it, if the effort is really if we really serious and educating and informing the people, then this thing's supposed to be held in every parish.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
And the thing about it, just before I go, right? The thing about it is, right, I don't want to be too long. Right. The thing about it is, look, we're supposed to engage each other more, right? Engage each other in discussion more. Because the thing about it is, okay, we're not supposed to, if we want to really solve problem and we want to get rid of a lot of foolishness and thing, right? We're supposed to educate the people more, and the only way this thing could really happen in a real efficient and sensible way is not really about laws and implementing more laws and legislation. Right? The thing about it is engage each other more in discussion. Bring people together, right? Let us because at the end of the day, passing laws and yes, we must have laws. Yes, we must have legislation. But the answer is not in passing laws and passing legislation. We must bring people.
Yes, that is a discussion we have to continue, caller.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And this is where the answer lies.
Yeah.
Thank you.
We have a next caller on the line. Caller, welcome.
Yeah, afternoon.
Yes, caller, welcome.
I've been thinking that we're looking to change our constitution and to give up the monarchy in British monarchy, and we'll have, what do you call it again? A presidency in Grenada? Something like that?
Yeah.
Yeah?
We're not looking to do that now. We did that about 2-3 years ago, and the people vote no, and we're supposed to respect democracy for a while. The people voted against that. So, they prefer the monarchy.
Yes.
And we're supposed to respect the choice of the people for a while. And this government has clearly stated that this is not on the agenda. So we don't expect any referendum in the next 5 years.
Yeah. Because I thought that this was coming on vote no again.
No, you don't
because one of the things I was thinking about is since we will be having our own currency, our own monies.
No, we're not having our own money with the OECS. Grenada having no intention of having at this point in time to have their own money. We have one OECS central bank, and Twine is the governor of the bank, and we have one money, the ECC dollar, and the dollar is very high. It is well backed.
Yes.
Yes, we have a strong dollar, so we don't have no.
Yes.
Independent. Yeah.
Well, this is one thing I was concerned about. The other thing is that I think oftentimes when we're making contribution, we doesn't realize that we finish what we are saying.
Yes, sometimes
we're speaking and we forget we would have made our points already, and we keep on,
Yes, sometimes
we forget to finish. All. Somebody else want to.
Yeah.
Yeah, somebody else want to. Thank you very much.
All right, thank you. Yes, we have a caller on the line. Yes, it is important for us to be tolerant with one another and try your best when you call to punch. And so I say punch and make your contribution. Sometimes you have a chance to call back and rebut. Yes, caller.
Good afternoon.
Yes, my brother, welcome.
Yeah, 2 questions. The gentleman before, not this one, the one I just gone, said that we all are responsible for the state of the education system right now. I want you to tell me what can we do, or how could I hold myself responsible for the state of the education system now. We say 40%, 70% of the children can't pass the exam or something, so?
Yeah, they can't meet the basic requirement.
Right. Okay. So I would want to know from you, Mr. Pierre, and from the gentleman, how does I responsible for that? And the second thing is, as some caller before said that the reason why the Prime Minister didn't have a press conference is because he doesn't want to use the Parliament building. Is that am I right?
Well, it appears that
Wait, I just want to know if it's that he said.
No, not that he said.
So it doesn't want the Parliament building.
No, not that he said.
Okay, I thought was that he said. Because I'm just saying that you don't have to have a press conference in
the Parliament building. It appears that he was saying.
Have a press. Huh?
Yeah.
You could have a press.
Anyway.
You could have a press conference anyway.
Yeah, you could have it in your
building?
office, any building in your office,
so
in the market square in Grenville. Anyway, yeah.
So what is his thought? Why did he thought that the Prime Minister didn't hold the press conference?
I think it's somebody expressing their opinion that the Prime Minister passed wanting to use the Parliament building rather than his office and some discussion.
So if he
wasn't quite clear.
If he wanted to use the Parliament, would he deny that?
I don't think anybody would deny him, but perhaps the office better. Parliament buildings under the Governor General and etc.
But I don't see nothing wrong in that.
Well, I see nothing wrong in that too.
Even though he's under the Governor General, you seek permission.
And it's just somebody's opinion, you know?
We are right. But I'm saying that any building that the Prime Minister want to use to hold a press conference.
He can't come in my house and hold press conference. So not
any building that he wants to. Or he have to seek information.
He has to get permission.
Get permission?
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
He can't enter your press conference.
Yeah.
I mean, that is understandable.
Yeah.
But, so, I'm a little bit worried there.
Yeah.
Where do I come in?
Yes, you want to know how all of us are responsible.
Yeah.
All of us are citizens of Grenada. All of us have 18 years and over. So we are adults. And in some way or not, we contribute to we have a democratic process, decision we make, what we advocate, how we educate our children, to what extent we make maximum use of the opportunities available. In yesteryear, there was a lot of challenges for children to go to school, another excuse. In today's society, there is less excuse. Our teachers are better educated, better trained, better provided for.
Yeah.
So it is absurd and unacceptable for the majority of children that exiting school cannot meet the basic requirement. So in that sense, all of us are responsible.
Well, okay.
You may not be directly responsible,
but
yeah.
Truly.
It's a general
what I realize is there was a time when there was where they wanted every child to go to secondary school, and I always say that every child may not be secondary education, needs secondary education, and you don't have a secondary education and still do very well.
Yeah, but
because Mr. Gary Jones, these people didn't have secondary education.
I don't know if Tillman went to secondary.
Right, and they still did well. Well, even if you
academically.
Lots of people in Grenada who never went to secondary school, and they're brilliant as well.
Yeah, the dynamics in the world today has changed significantly.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have to have technical or education, you have data, you have computer. The job market is more competitive. So you cannot have schools coming out and the majority of children failing. That is unacceptable.
Well, I agree on unacceptable, but I do see myself holding responsible.
Well, you don't want to take responsibility. A lot of people don't take responsibility. They blame other people.
Yeah. I don't blame anybody, but I'm not taking responsibility.
I say, as Grenadian citizens, you're over 18 years, in some way, all of us contribute to all what's going Grenada. For instance, my brother, when this government run the economy to the ground, all of us have to face the IMF on our knees.
Yes.
And all of us responsible.
All of us have to take responsibility for their running into the economy.
Yeah, but you have to get some responsibility too.
No, I am not helping them to run into
Well, you mightn't take it, but that doesn't mean you won't get it. Because you have to pay.
Well, people might say that, but you don't have a truth.
Yeah.
No, good.
Yes, it's we talking, most times an issue come up, everybody trying to shield away from blame. I to blame, you to blame. We have a challenge we must endeavor to solve. Within the education system, within the schools, they must establish think tanks. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre, how are you today?
Great, man.
Yes, I'm saying to you again, you got to take control of this show. You can't, especially this last caller day. He asks for explanation how, you give him how, and all he's doing is trying to keep that additional unnecessary conversation. Mr. Pierre, you gotta take some time back.
What we do, we want to encourage people to express their views and express their opinion. And some of the topics that they might be on, we leave them a little longer because, so we try.
Yeah,
yes.
But I mean, it's something kind of looking to take some hold on the program.
Okay.
But it's not really getting at it. We just, if we could try and keep this thing more moderate. Punch and go.
All right, thank you.
All right, thank you.
Yes. Yes, so we open the floor and you can always give us a call, and we encourage people to punch, and you make your statements and you could have an opportunity to call back again. And we are concerned about the education system. We don't want to ever lose track of it. Now, I think it is most critical now for us to be concerned, because we seem to have a government in Grenada now that seems to be hostile. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yes, sir.
Go right ahead, my brother.
Sunday I listened to, I think it was the PRO and Mr. Terry Forrester.
Yeah.
They had a little interview around 12. They said they were speaking about NDC achievement since they took office. And they say the number one achievement, when I listen to hear what is the achievement, they say number one is paying back the teachers.
Yes,
so that's so brilliant.
What was the number two?
That show Grenadians that NNP don't like teachers is NDC one like teachers.
Yeah.
So that's plus. They don't realize people know they're trying to bribe the teachers.
Yeah, they say some people say they try to bribe the teachers. And I don't think they could bribe the teachers. They got the executive of the union for a little while. Yeah.
Yes, that is one of the most important achievements because that the Grenadians seen who like teachers and who don't like teachers.
Yeah, so, go ahead.
I was rather surprised though. Yeah.
All right.
Well, March 13 coming up, we have to give a whole history.
Yes, and we're in the month of March. So,
of Mongret.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so you might open back with that next week.
I go open back with that. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, we open up the floor again, and you can pick up the telephone and call. And I want to read this one from my brother Nigel John. He said there are different forms of socialization in teaching our children. The school, the church, the media, and the family all have a role to play in the development of education. Yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, caller, go right ahead.
Good day. Yeah. I hope you have a very good day.
Go right ahead,
and
caller.
I wish you a good evening.
Thank you.
Mr. Pierre, what you say in the issue with 70% of the children uneducated or fail? That is...
Caller, I said 70% of the children exiting school fail to meet the basic requirement.
Okay, Mr. Pierre. They fail to meet the basic requirement. Why do you think that is happening? Can you imagine? We had a government in power for 22 years. 22 years, you know. And that is what they do to our children. They destroy our children. These people and them is wicked people for 22 years, the NNP in power. And that is the result. Now, new parents don't know how to come and start from scratch because they destroy them children. The parents couldn't interfere them, couldn't talk to them too hard because they want to jail them and all that thing. That's what destroyed them, children. And the Prime Minister, Kit Mitchell, was the head of that for 22 years. Child children, Mr. You have a good day.
All right. Thank you, caller. So the question is now, this productivity level in school is unacceptable. And it is very easy for us to say the government, to say the teachers, for us to say the education system. But I like to say to people, you remember the children in school are your children. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome. Okay, we lost that caller. Try again. The children in school are your children. And parents need to be more hungry for education. You need to take more interest in your child's education, irrespective of what the condition is. Yes, caller, welcome.
Pierre.
Yes, go right ahead.
What have Kit Mitchell have done to Grenadian people are what they hate him so? Everything wrong is Kit Mitchell.
Well, I think, remember, we have two strong political parties. And Dr. Kit Mitchell is a polarizing figure, and as a result of that, he's going to attract a lot of criticism.
Yeah, Christ was than that.
Yeah, but he was also the most successful politician in Grenada.
Now what they don't
and you're going to expect people who has not succeeded as well as him to be always pointing out against him.
People don't see how people die in these days instead of one man.
Well, Dr. Kit Mitchell is successful politically, and a lot of people, other politicians, are not successful.
That's why they hate him.
So, they will have a little envious admiration. I don't know if you could put these two words together.
God is good.
Yes, caller. So the question is, parents in particular must understand that. You see, we could be going around and don't realize that 70% of the children, based upon my own statistics, are not succeeding. And it is not a question of genetics. The children are able to succeed in school if we take a better approach towards it. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Mr. Pierre?
Yes, scholar, welcome.
I just want to take you on a different level.
Go right ahead.
You know this thing that we used to call cocos bag?
Cocos bag, yeah, man.
Okay. If you have a cocos bag full of cocoa, and you put it on this big scale they normally have, if you put the bag stand up, and you put the bag lie down across the scale, would you get the same weight?
You're supposed to get the same weight if the scale is good.
Thank you.
All right, color. Yeah. Another interesting example. Now, so parents have to get hungry for education. Don't let anybody tell you that your child is not academically inclined. Welcome, Pierre. Welcome to the program.
Hi, good afternoon,
Yes,
Mr.
my
Pierre.
welcome.
Mr. Pierre, you see, always calling you and want to condemn Kit Mitchell like Kit Mitchell do more than everybody. He have the MCD can, which is the Prime Minister, the Jab King. You don't condemn him. But Kit Mitchell, the man that find everybody.
Yes, scholar, you know? Yeah, we lost this scholar.
He don't talking about that. But he running him out. God is good. Tell him he will forever. If he's in the mental house he is, tell him, take him education and don't let pressure kill him. Kit Mitchell is a pressure for them. They just start to see Kit Mitchell and they just start to hear Kit Mitchell. Have a blessed day, Mr. Pierre.
Yes, scholar. And we have to be mindful that Dr. Kit Mitchell has set a template in this country that is not easy for other political leaders to follow it, because he is very tolerant to criticism and he has weathered all these storms of criticism. Yes, scholar, welcome.
Good afternoon.
Yes, scholar, welcome.
Now, concerning the children and the education, parents must realize that that's their responsibility. They are the ones who have to answer to God for their children.
The radio in the back. The radio in the back.
I'm outside.
Okay.
I'm outside. I'm not inside the house.
Okay, go ahead.
They are the ones who's supposed to answer for their children, whether good or bad. They are the ones who have to start training the children even in the womb. So they can't let that responsibility go on the teachers. The teachers are doing their part. The child education first begins in your house. You, no matter what, parents is the one who is responsible for the child's education, not the government, not the teachers. They do their part. But when the children come out from the schoolhouse and they go out home in the evening, do they ask the child what they learned in school today, what was taught, if they have homework to do? Do they sit down with the child and ask the question, show me what the teacher tells you to do, even though you don't know? But the child will show you and she will say X, Y, Z. Common sense will help you to help the child to understand, to help the child when the child is going wrong. You understand?
Yes.
They're always putting blame on somebody else but not taking the blame for themselves. The language they use in the house, the conversation they have in the house, in the children's present. You understand? Parents are the one, and stop putting the blame on everybody else. Thank you.
Okay, caller. I think all of us have some fair responsibility. Yes, caller, welcome. Yes, caller, welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Pierre.
Go right ahead.
Are the chamber again?
Yes, man, you're welcome.
Once again, with the educational part of the thing, man. No, I'm sure, like, in your days of going to school, you had to probably go to the library. And you right? No, we in the era of what I call technological advancement. We have iPhone, we got all kind of phones and all kind of information. So I see it fit that there's no student should leave a secondary school without at least 17 subjects, right? And you could be like 16 years old. Likewise, you can be 40 years old and go back to school. So whatever you missed when you was in your teenage years, you can always go back. education is a never-ending process. I saw on a site the other day, a 99-year-old person just got their GED. So education is never-ending. You can always learn, right? But what is happening in Grenada, based on what you're saying, with 70% of the students cannot meet the job market and they're not equipped enough. Probably that is the case, but they also saw Mr. Pierre that is too qualified, too qualified. I know of a friend that has a daughter that did some subjects last year, and she got like about 12 of them, and she's doing her second year this year, and she's doing 12 more. That's 24 subjects. Where? And she's 16 years. Where in this Grenada island can you pay somebody that has 24 subjects and distinctions, right? And that's only CSEP qualifications. I mean, there are people in this country that are highly overqualified, and there are people that is not qualified at all. And it is rather shocking that we cannot find placement with jobs. And even if you find the jobs, like Ms. Thomas, you are being sacked for being too qualified, in my view. You know what I'm saying? So what I'm saying, you are spot on, Mr. Pierre, and you are very passionate about education, like I am. I agree with your sentiments. And to Dr. Mitchell, right? This man is being quiet. I like he's being quiet as a leader of opposition. His day will come when there's a parliament sitting again, because that is where the government and the people of Grenada will hear what's going on, right? And to the Deacon-led administration, when questions are being given or being asked, please answer. Please answer the question. Don't come and say it's on a need-to-know basis. Don't dash question. Don't hide behind this parliamentary office and go and hide and think. Because here gone, Mr. Mitchell, Deacon Mitchell, Prime Minister Deacon Mitchell, you have a press secretary. She's been paid by taxpayers, and she's not been forthcoming, giving us information of what's taking place with the government. I mean, come on. But it is what it is. And according to the NEC people and them, and it's that.
It is what it is. Yes, thank you, Carla. Carla, yeah, I don't think Dr. Mitchell is quiet, you know. Dr. Mitchell is the hardest political worker on the ground. He is moving around constantly. He is not necessarily quiet. One of the problems we have is the NDC is hiding from the press. We have to start to say it as it is. They backing down. They enter area where you had press conferences after every cabinet meeting. And they claim information will be need to know. And they even hiding from the journalists that they claim are the most objective journalists. They hiding from the press. They talking. People have to tell them, come outside and talk. Otherwise, speculation is going to run wild. And in the terms of subject, a basic education, perhaps a child coming to school with mathematics, English language, a foreign language, a science subject, and well-trained in basic computer education. So when a child is 16 years old and a child exiting secondary school after 13 and a half years, the majority of children must have the basic education. Nothing is wrong if a child wants to a 30 subject. That is bragging rights. Nothing is wrong with that. But the majority of children must leave school, at least with mathematics, English language, a science subject, a foreign language, and computer science. 6 or 7 subjects, and the person is well qualified. Other skills like sports and music and etc. We have to change our attitude in Grenada. The government, the minister, the minister of education, the chief education officer, the teachers in the school, and the parents, they are the ones that are 12 years. Once that child have the proper, yes, caller, welcome.
Mr. Pierre.
Yes, caller, you're the punch. Caller, you're the punch. Go ahead.
Mr. Pierre, in 2003, the government of Grenada passed a law giving the teacher, the parents, the child the right to bring up their parents if they talk to them to hard.
Caller,
They hit them.
caller,
They could have bring them up before the police. Yes.
Caller, like a lot of truth. So
that
if
is a
caller, when you say they pass a law in 2003, the parents talk to them too hard to bring them up. This is not true. What you need to do, go and research the law and come back again. We want to stick with truth, and we want you to call, but we want you to stick with truth. No law don't pass so in Grenada. No laws don't pass so in Grenada. Right. So we believe that we'll always start with the parents because it's your child. And parents have to start to get more hungry for education and have to understand that is your child and you could do a lot, irrespective of the education you have as a parent. You could do a lot more to get your child on the right footing. And we will continue with that topic because it's not a topic that's going to go away. Every now and then you're going to hear us referring to education, particularly now when the government seems to be hostile against disadvantaged children, the physically challenged, and the elderly. So the environment, because the environment is so politically charged with victimization, children and parents could be distracted, compounding the challenge of productivity in the school. Is 1 hour we have is an interesting topic. We want you to continue discussing that topic in your homes, and every day we will come up with suggestions what we believe could help to encourage children to do better in school. Thank you very much.